fool.
Welcome back, y'all.
That's it. That felt like a good rhythm that time.
Yeah.
I've been lagging on my part,
And I'm like,
so
come on.
it felt good to get my part right.
Great.
Um,
Listeners are like, all right, guys.
welcome. Yeah, no, this is us just BS, and we're like, guys, we came here for tactical guidance on leadership and
Come on.
culture development. We're gonna get there. I promise. Hang tight.
Okay, go ahead.
We're talking about your culture's elevator pitch today, which I'm really excited about. I think this is a really interesting way. This is the topic we've been talking about. We did an event on it last month, actually for our Service Hub event, which we'll always have in the show notes. We do that every month. I'll talk about that a little bit at the end of the episode. But this is how you describe your team. Culture isn't just what you like put on a slide deck, or any number of things. I think that culture that definition gets really confused and turned around. What it really is it's how your team actually behaves when no one's watching. Right? It's how your people show up. I think for one another. It's how they show up for themselves. If you can explain it clearly, that means you can't reinforce it. Right? So if you can't explain it clearly, that means that you can't hire for it. Right? Which is something that I think is really interesting. We're like, oh yeah, culture is important. And then we don't think about it. Like we would always want to make sure we had our elevator pitch for like our business and our value proposition dialed. And everyone knows that that's important. But your culture pitch, like if you don't have that elevator pitch for your culture, then you don't know how to find alignment for it. And it's going to really cause some problems. So in this episode, we're going to build your culture's elevator pitch, and we're going to help you understand exactly what that looks and sounds like so that you can make it something that's repeatable. You can hire an alignment. You can create that alignment. You can reinforce it in your business for your existing team members. Let's rock and roll. Let's get into it.
Great. Let's jump into the question.
No, I thought we were going to skip it. I thought maybe if I just laid it up nicely.
I was like, he's going to try to get away with this. You're going to hate this question. That's why your subconscious is like, I'm avoiding the question. Okay, you have 30 seconds. What's your pitch?
Oh, our elevator pitch is we create an environment where people thrive and have the ability to step into their full potential and do work that's better than they ever thought they could.
Wow.
Boom. Mic drop. You can turn the podcast off now. That's it.
If you can have an elevator pitch that's that clear, you're winning. That wasn't rehearsed.
I got that locked and loaded. That's our elevator pitch.
Do you think that our team would agree with that?
I think so.
Okay, great. Team, let us know.
Let us know.
In the comments, let us know.
I have been told that explicitly by a few members of our team, like, you guys have provided an opportunity and provided leadership that's pushed me in a direction of things that I never thought that I could feel confident in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, boom, I did it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. And I fuck it up a lot too. Like that, but if that is the sum total of our collective effort, like that's what I want. That's a win.
Yeah. But our fucking it up actually allows people to thrive.
Please explain.
I think that we own our issues. Own your issues. Own it, bro.
Come on, B.
I love this.
It's like 3 episodes now. I've just been calling you a B.
I love it so good. I am a B. I'll own that. No, but we own it well. And I think that is a part of our culture. Like, I think that in our culture, we want to normalize mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And taking ownership. So I think even when we mess it up, we do a really good job at just owning it and moving forward.
You're right. Yeah, it's true. No, I think perfection is the enemy of progress. And I think anytime that we try to pretend that any of us, but if you're in a leadership position or from our, kind of place, that we have it all figured out or we're perfect, like it stifles progress. It stifles growth. Great.
Okay. The question's over. Now we can really hop in.
Now we're going to hop in.
Now you're going to be happy.
I was riding a wave there for a second because I did so good. You're like, you're going to hate this question. I was like, please.
I know.
No,
you did great.
How dare you?
I know.
Got that.
Okay, so let's talk about how our culture actually like drives behavior. Because when you get this super clear, it actually helps us understand how we show up day to day. And especially if you have a small team, this matters. The smaller you are, the sooner you figure this out, the better, because it really does continue to grow. Like if you don't get this out of the gates, like so many people are like, I don't need to think about culture. We're too small. I'm like, no, like this is when you actually really need to think about culture. And it's never too late. So let's talk about this. It incorporates every decision, every hire, how you let people go and fire people. I don't love that word. How you promote people. Everything is tied in to your culture. So if you don't have language or you don't have an understanding of how to describe it or pitch it or talk about it in the world or within your team, then what happens?
What happens? Yeah, I mean, I think there's a real breakdown. And I will just go back. Like, I think I'm glad you mentioned like the small team piece. Like I believe that and know that to be a fact, but I actually like didn't think about calling it out specifically, although it makes total sense. So I'm really glad you touched on that, because that's something we hear a lot. Like, oh, like I'll worry about my culture when I have X number of hires, or oh, we just have 2 people, or oh, I just made my first hire. No, it starts with 1. Like, and so go ahead.
Answer my question, bro.
All right, restate it. No, I got off my tangent.
I know you're in your head. He wasn't listening to me. He was listening to respond. I'm just kidding.
Well, that's true, and also not entirely true. I was like really thinking about the small team thing.
Yeah, no.
But I heard your question, but say it again.
Okay. So what happens when we're not clear?
Like
if I'm like, we don't have a culture. How many times we've heard that? And I don't mean any judgment on that. We actually did that when we first started other businesses. But like if someone's like, we don't have a culture, we're too small. Yeah. What happens if you are not clear on your culture and you don't have language to like describe it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it inhibits it keeps you from hiring the right people. Like if you say you don't have a culture is what you hire from. Mm-hmm. Let me be clear. You do not hire from resumes and skill sets. You hire for culture. Yeah. And so if you don't know what your culture is and you can't clearly put that into language that it makes it easy for people to connect with, you will never find the right people, and you will always be circling the drain trying to figure out what's wrong with my team. Why do I have so much turnover? Why are these people such a pain in my ass? Why are they fighting? Why are they all the things that people complain about? And again, we've been there. Like like for a long time. This is why this is so important. Like, this is the thing. This is your actual, once you have your like company elevator pitch and you use that to do whatever you need to do in the marketplace, like this is the thing that actually you should just keep top of mind. Like I would say like this is the elevator pitch that gets written on the whiteboard, not the elevator pitch for your product.
Yeah. And you should build your product elevator pitch based off of this.
Another mic drop. Wow.
And I also think that you don't have a choice. You're building culture whether you want to or not.
Yeah, not having a culture is your culture.
Yeah.
Or saying that you don't have one or you're too small, like that's your culture.
Well, and people could describe your culture even if you say you don't have a culture as a leader. Like if you have 3 people and they're like, if I came up to your team and I was like, describe your culture, they'd be like, driven. They would say what the leader expects, right? Like they would say either the good or the bad of what comes out of that. So if you're not intentional, and what is that like saying? If you don't plan, you plan to fail. If you don't plan out and like map out your culture elevator pitch and you don't have language, if you don't have that language, then you're planning to fail because you are not going to be able to like really have the resources to continue to create the things that you want in your business. So, let's talk. How do we build it? Everyone's like, all right, great. I get it. How the fuck do I do it? Like, where do I get this information?
We were on a little bit of a soapbox there. Thanks for bearing with us. So 3 easy questions. And once you answer these questions clearly, And I want you to sit with these and actually come up with real answers that are in alignment with what you care about in the culture and business that you want, not just like the words that you think sound good.
Want and are natural thing that matter to you.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
Like, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll get
You're
into
right.
it later.
So 3 questions. Let's run through them. First question, what do we value? And just answer that question honestly. How do we behave as a company? And what do we protect at all costs? Right, I'm going to give you an example. So insert your company. We lead with curiosity, own our mistakes, and never stop learning. Right? So it's just an equation. I want you to ask yourself, what do we value? How do we behave? And what do we protect at all costs? Answer those things honestly.
And in one sentence each.
Yep.
Do not, or like, even if you can get it down to like 3 words each question.
Yep.
Don't make this a book.
Yeah. And so, again, as an example, this is how we put this together. What do we value? We value leading with curiosity. How do we behave? We own our mistakes. What do we protect at all costs? We never stop learning. We protect our ability to never stop learning and prioritizing growth. Right? There's a lot of ways you could define that or put language to it. That's what that sounds like. And then that's your pitch. And then put that everywhere, and everyone should know it by heart. And that's actually what you lead with. And that's where you hire from as well. So let's talk about how you teach it and reinforce it. So what I'm saying, right? Like, this is great. You're going to build it. I just gave you the equation. You can do it. It's easy. You got to sit with it. Don't try to rush it. But ultimately, it is not a hard thing to do. You should know these answers. Mm-hmm. The process of refining and defining this is actually going to give you a tremendous amount of clarity in other areas of your business as well. If you don't know what you value, if you don't know what you protect at all costs, and you don't know how you behave, you need to have those answers as well. So this is an exercise that pays dividends in lots of different places. But now you got to teach it and reinforce it, right? So everybody has to know it. You have to live by it. It has to be something that people tell back to you, which I've been lucky enough to be in that position. And it's great when your team's like, you do this for me. I'm like, great. That's all I need to do. That's my responsibility. So tell us about it. How do we teach it and reinforce it?
Well, I think it starts with hiring. Obviously, it starts with your hiring questions and making sure that you're asking questions that allow you to understand if the person that's across from you that you're interviewing actually cares about the same thing. So obviously, you're not going to be like, here's our statement. It's behind me right here.
Hark.
Here's our statement. Do you care about this? No, you have to ask. In our last podcast, or maybe a couple ago, we talked about making sure that we ask behavior-based questions in interviews. Have some questions to help you understand if the people you're interviewing actually have these behaviors and they care about them naturally, honestly, at a core. And then onboarding. What does it look like to actually really clarify what these look like and create a system where these things happen naturally? It shouldn't be hard because they should be authentic. They should already be the things that you care about. So make sure that they're integrated in onboarding. And, if you're doing scripts, if you're doing training, make sure that those things are actually really executed in those different content pieces and in your training process. And then performance reviews or follow up. I think we have to really make sure that we're really clear on how we're actually weighing these things in reviews. Are we asking questions? Are we actually looking at these qualifiers and the things that matter to us? Is this person been dedicated to growth? That's one thing that we look at consistently is like, how is this person dedicated, hungry, humble, smart? How are they actually dedicated to growth? And we integrate that. So, and then daily language, right? Like, are we using these things in daily language and how we're building our culture and how we're interacting with our team, how we're asking questions within meetings and setting up the frameworks there. And then highlight examples of team members that are living in the culture, a living version of this culture, right? Make sure that you're actually reinforcing this culture through accountability and highlighting how our team is doing these things great. So when we give feedback in public settings, are we actually using these qualifiers as a framework to celebrate people and their wins through this lens? And then making culture decisions. I think, how are you making decisions through this lens as well? I think that's another one. So that's how I would say we have thought about this and intentionally built a culture. And when we find something that's not in alignment, maybe there's like, I don't know, I don't want to say a person, but a system or a process that's actually not working for us, we go back and we look at, oh, is it in alignment with this statement? Does it actually help us execute and live out our culture? And if you have one statement, a sentence or less, it's easy for us to like use that as a framework to go yes or no, right? Anything I missed there?
No, you nailed it. That takes us right into the leadership challenge.
Great. Leadership challenge.
Ding, 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 ding. So this one's simple. You probably saw this coming. What I want you to do is I want you to use what we laid out for you. I want you to use those 3 questions, and I want you to write your culture's 1-sentence elevator pitch. I want you to actually build that out. I want you to sit with those 3 questions. I want you to put some language to it. I want you to build your pitch, your sentence, and then I want you to share it with your team. And I want you to do something that's going to really scare you, but I want you to ask if it matches what they experience on a daily basis. So this only matters if it's actually what you're creating. So again, this is why the language is important, and it has to come from what you want and where you're truly driving, not just words you think sound pretty.
Yeah.
Because you could be like, we're driven and and you're going to give this to your team. And they're like, I mean, those words sound good, but that's not the language we use to describe our work. That's not the experience we have. That's not how you talk. That's not right. Like whatever that is, or all of those things and more. And so it matters that it resonates and it actually represents you as a leader, your company, your leadership team, whatever that org structure looks like. So that's your challenge. Do it this week. Even if you think you have it, I want you to do it again. As your team changes, as your organization changes, as your product changes, business, this is, I think, a really good exercise to come back to and just check yourself and see, like, does it still resonate? Is there different language? We have a bigger team now. We've changed some people out. We had, our best marketing person retire, right? Like with new people, with growth comes the opportunity for tweaks and to just adjust and make sure that it resonates. So build it, try it on, ask your team, is it the experience that you're actually creating on a daily basis? And if you need support there, if you're like, that's really scary, or I'm going to do this and I'm going to go to my team and I feel like it's going to fall flat, or I don't know, I don't want to put myself in that position, or...
Yeah. Or one thing we see a lot is you're really connected to this statement and you're like, this is what really matters. You show it to your team and they're like, ooh, that means that there's a misalignment. So that's something that we really have helped a lot of leaders figure out. If you're having that experience, pay attention to that. Yeah.
And so if you need support, let us know. You can find us at impactinitiative.network. And reach out to us there. We'd love to be a support system for you and guide you through building what is honestly probably the most impactful piece of your business that you are not doing and can't speak clearly about. So we want to help you get this piece in place. Again, that's impactinitiative.network. And just as a reminder, I mentioned it earlier, April 24th is our next Service Hub. That's our free networking event in Littleton, Colorado. It's going to be at the Kiln co-working space. We've brought them on as a new partner and they've been phenomenal. And it's been awesome to hang out in their space. So we want to invite you there. Again, that's April 24th. It's from 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Amazing group. It's been growing month over month. We're having an awesome collaboration, great conversations, tactical takeaways that you can apply to your business tomorrow. So if you're in and around the area, I want to invite you to come. And if not, we hope you will reach out and talk to us at impactinitiative.network. Until then, we'll see you next time on Impact Minded.
Bye, y'all.